Hi, everyone. This is Trish Kendall with a Trish Kendall Speaks episode. Joe and I have a friend, Sammy's basketball coach and soccer coach, actually, for the town of Canton. I'll call him Coach Mike. He had his leg amputated 2 years ago, or I think 2 basketball seasons ago, due to cancer. Now he's in remission, although he continues to go through chemo cycles. But Mike and his wife and their son, their youngest son, we spend a lot of time with them through sports activities and getting together, and they're a special family. And when Mike first had his leg amputated, I remember him, when he was able to, coming to the basketball game, and the boys then were 10. And I remember him right away just addressing what was going on and that he no longer had a leg, and that it was due to cancer. And he just was very matter of fact with the boys. Ask me any questions that you want, et cetera, et cetera. I also recall Mike talking about the idea or the sensation of a phantom limb. And I have been thinking about that lately as it relates to me, and I'm in no way comparing what I've gone through to what Mike and his family are going through, but the idea of a phantom limb, which is the perception that you still have your leg or you still have your arm, or that the limb that is no longer there or has been amputated, you can feel it. And there's even phantom limb pain. And some of this is from the nerves, some of it is from your brain. And I've been really feeling lately that I have what I'm going to call a phantom limb, and that I will have it my whole life, which is I am a girl who was sexually abused. And the last time was when I was 15. So that was 36 years ago. Yeah, 36 years ago. And as the decades went on, I changed who I was and the choices I made, and evolved into the woman and the person and the mom and the wife and the friend and the businesswoman that I am today. And so the memory or the feeling of that little girl is very few and far between, meaning there are most of the time in my life, I actually can't reconcile that she existed. And I know, like intellectually, I know that she is me, but it's so far from where I'm at and who I am and what I do and what I think and how I am today, that it's hard to reconcile. And then there will be times out of the blue, even to this day, that I will get the sensation of the phantom limb, that I will feel and think that that little girl is right here. I will remember a moment. I will remember the smell. I will remember the touch. I will remember the sound. And it is frightening. It's mind-boggling sometimes, and it will stop me in my tracks. And I have to almost shake it off, because although she is and will always be a part of me, I shouldn't even say she, it is me, like that will always be a part of me. I don't want to feel it. And I don't, like, it has been amputated. It has been removed. It was physically removed from my life. The act of being abused was physically removed from my life. And I don't want the feeling that it's still there. Now, we're going to take a pause for a moment because Lily's cat comes up to join me. and I just love him. This is Cosmo. The other thing, it's not only about the child who was abused, but because that happened, I then made choices that were terrible. And I think about, I was 20 the last time I had needles in my arms. I was 20 years old, almost 21, the last time I shot up crystal meth. And most of you that follow me for sure, those of you that have been audiences in my inspirational keynotes and workshops know that that's the moment that my sister called me and changed the trajectory of my life. And the person at that moment doesn't exist. Like, again, it was that person, that life, those choices were removed, were amputated from me. And early on, I still felt the effects of her. I still very much was going through the struggles, of course, the everyday struggles of recovering from drug addiction. But then you also have all the struggles that come from that drug addiction, mentally, emotionally, relationship-wise, guilt, shame, all of those things that actually stem from child abuse, and then were exasperated by the things I did while I was addicted to drugs. So that's removed, right? Like when I moved in with my sister, I was no longer stealing. I was no longer cheating. I was no longer trading my dignity for the next fix. Like, that was removed. Yet I still felt it. It was still there. I still felt the pain and the sensation, the nerves, if you will, or my brain was still reconciling this amputated part of my life. As the years went on and as the decades have gone on, I'm 51 now. So think, it's 31 years ago. Those, that phantom limb is very, very infrequent. So that's, I think, what is so jolting to me when out of nowhere, I feel it. I feel the sensation of that person being a part of me. I'll just give an example of the 20-year-old person being a part of me and feeling the sensation of that. This week, I've been on kid and house duty all week while Joe is in Germany for his annual beer trip with his best friend. And so it's been very slow in terms of, I'm not traveling. And this week I went to Target during the middle of the day because I had to get Sammy some notebooks for school and I had to get Lily some, it was just such a normal Target trip. It's like 11 o'clock. I don't have videos. I'm going to Target. I get notebooks for Sam. I get Gatorade for Lily and snacks for her horse shows. And I'm running in and out because I'm, just going to do my thing and getting all my stuff. And I'm in the line and there's a woman behind me with a cart. And the cart is full of diapers and milk and all those things. And in like a nanosecond, I felt the limb. I remember being 18, 19 years old, strung out on crystal meth. And I would go to a grocery store with checks because at that time, grocery stores took cash or checks. I'm sure there were credit cards, but people very much could pay with cash and checks. And I had, you know, stolen checks from someone. And I would go to the store and I would fill up the cart with some basic food necessities for me. Pepsi, cereal, Wonder Bread, and maybe some peanut butter and jelly. Those were like my basic staple needs. But then I would also fill it up with diapers. Not for me, but for where I got drugs. I knew that I could trade goods for a day's worth of, a day's fix. I could get diapers and milk and eggs, and I could trade that for the fix that I needed for the day. And I would write these checks, stealing, but that's what we did. I mean, I learned it from someone. I learned it from one of the people that I did all of the drugs with. And so, like, in that moment at Target today, this week, I was jolted by the memory of that person. And it was like, wait a minute, was that me? I don't think so. Like, that was me? And yeah, it was. And that is when I was at Target this week. That is when I thought of the idea of a phantom limb, because that isn't me. It is removed. It has been amputated. And Coach Mike, if you ever watch this, please just know I'm saying all of this with all of my love and insight into what you've made me think about. And so the fact of the matter is, those, the things I did and the person I was will always be a part of me. I was traveling for work a number of months ago, and I was at a great breakfast place that I love to go to. And I was with a colleague, and I went into the bathroom. This is before we're going to a meeting. And there was a smell in the bathroom that smelled like somebody had smoked cocaine. Now, let's be clear. Nobody was in that bathroom smoking coke. Nobody was doing that. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. Nobody was doing that. But there must have been a chemical, or it had to have been a chemical. There was something that smelled similar to, and stopped me in my tracks. And I had to, while I was peeing, hold my breath. I was like this, plugging my nose, holding my breath, trying to get the pee to come out. And then I had to wash my hands somehow. I felt nauseated. I truly felt like I was going to be physically ill. And I'm in the bathroom, and I am reminded of the person I was, the things I did. And I have to, in a second, push her aside and walk out of the bathroom, back to the booth with my colleague, and go on with the day, with my meeting and the person I am today. This little girl that was abused for 7 years is always going to be a part of me. The girl who not only used drugs, but sold them, stole for them, lied for them, did all the things I did for them. She will always be with me. And that phantom limb sometimes is painful. Sometimes it's just a feeling. But I think it will always be there. And for everyone who has their own experience and own challenges, whether that was yesterday or today. I think that over time, the feelings dissipate, the memories dissipate, the shame dissipates and guilt dissipates. But I don't know if it ever really goes away. So that's what I'm sitting with right now on this Saturday. And perhaps that's okay. Just acknowledging, being aware of it, and choosing to accept the fact that I am all of it. Thanks for being along this journey with me. Choose and become.